All right, today I'm going to show you how to draw some anime and manga style hair. Today I'm going to be drawing Killua from Hunter x Hunter and Boruto from Boruto. I'm just going to be drawing their hair and showing you how I go about it and how I've been learning how to draw their hair and just hair in general, and show you the process of drawing hair. And yeah. Okay, and so for the past week or so, I've been really trying to understand how to draw hair myself, break it down and like study it. And I started off with Genshin Impact. I really like those character designs and like the hairstyles of that game and those characters. So I just made I just did some studies basically on those characters from the game. I don't know their names or whatever, but that wasn't the point of this. It was just the point of this was basically to practice how to draw these hairstyles and stuff. And so I did that for some characters throughout the week. Here's another one here as well. As you can see, I drew a couple of characters up here and kind of created my own hairstyles inspired by like reference I studied, and just looked up these characters. I looked up some Pokemon reference and how they drew hair in that anime, and I also just had fun with it. Drew the character Killua from Kill la Kill, whatever her name is, and like I said, I've been studying how to draw hair, trying to figure it out, break it down and study it. So I've been researching and just doing studies by myself. And so here I'm just showing you some studies I've done. This is Keith from Voltron. I'm not going to go into detail, but just trying to show you the process of what I've been doing to try and figure out how to draw hair myself. And so here is Korra from Legend of Korra. And yeah, just same thing, just breaking it down, figuring it out myself by breaking down these anime and cartoons and stuff like that. And then there's the ones, or these two I did today for my warm-up. I studied Boruto, the Boruto anime, and drew Sakura and Boruto, and broke it down into how I understand how to draw hair and what I've just been studying from how to draw it. And so now we're here. I already drew the models, I guess you can say. I drew Boruto and Killua from Hunter x Hunter and Boruto. And now what I'm going to do is actually go through the process of drawing hair on these characters and show you how what I've learned and what I've studied this past couple weeks, a week or two, and just finish up these character sketches and draw the hair on them and show you how to do it. So let's get started. Let's get it. All right, so I'm gonna start with Killua first, and then I'll move on to Boruto. So what I've learned from studying how to draw hair and doing all this practice and study is, like the main thing I've learned is hair has volume. So hair isn't just gonna be flat on the surface of the head, right? Hair has volume, so it's gonna be growing from the head and on top of the head, rather being flat, like skin tight on top of the head, right? So I have reference of Killua up right here, and I'm gonna use that reference to actually draw in his hairstyle. And so let's just start with the basic shape, and this is how I've been starting on my studies. So I'm looking at this reference here. I'm probably going to put up a reference so that you can see what I'm drawing as well in the video. But to start off with, I'm going to plot out a point on the head, which it looks like I've already done. I'm going to put a point on the head where I want the hair to be coming from. And this point right here is where what I call the origin point. So yeah, what I've noticed is like in anime and manga hair, not even anime or manga, just cartoonish hair, you generally find like a origin point where the hair grows or where the hair is coming from. And so with Killua, there's a point right here is where I think it is, where his hair is coming from. So now that I've got the origin point, now what I'm going to do is plot out the basic shape of the hair. And so he's got a lot of hair on his head, so I'm probably going to draw like a basic shape like that, circular shape like that, to plot out that basic hair shape. And there we go. And like I said before, hair has volume, right? So it's not going to be right on top of the head right here. It's going to be coming outward and growing off of the head. And so now that I got the basic shape and the origin point, now I can start going in and adding that detail and even more hair shapes and hair strands. So one thing I've also noticed while drawing and studying hair is like the lines of the hair usually come right back to that origin point. So Killua has like all these strands of hair that cover his forehead like this, but they usually all go back toward the origin point over here. And so that's what I'm doing right now, is using that origin point to plot out where the hair is coming from, and using that to my advantage, because it's super easy once you've I guess broken that down into that like this. And the hair just follows the flow of the head shape as well. So Killua's got these strands of hair coming right back, pointing right back to the origin point like this. And as you can see, I'm not really going for that Hunter x Hunter style of drawing hair. I want to draw Killua in my style, but I want this drawing to actually look like Killua. So I'm gonna draw this to the best of my ability. And like I said, I'm gonna draw all these strands of hair coming right back to this origin point, right here, like this. And I'm starting to get something I like. I'm gonna bring out this little piece of paper I have so I don't mess up this Boruto drawing over here to the side. But yeah, I'm gonna keep adding strands of hair like this. And like, this doesn't have to be perfect, because I'm not trying to create a like perfect illustration or anything. I'm just studying hair. This is what I've been doing for like the past week or so. So I'm getting more comfortable with it. I can definitely see myself improving in drawing hair. But I'm not where I want to be at right now. But I'm just gonna I'm making this video to share what I've learned so far in drawing hair and stuff. And it's fun. It's really fun. But okay, so now we got the basic bangs of his hair down already. So now we've already plotted out this basic shape of the volume of the hair, right? So now what we're gonna do is, I can probably erase this line now. That's the head, like the skull. And now what I'm gonna do is actually drawing more detail for the hair. So let's see. Like I said, if we're looking at the reference, he's got strands of hair that come right back or look like they grow out of this certain point. So that's what I'm going to try and do as well. So just gonna draw these lines coming out of the origin point like this. And they don't have to be perfect, you know. I'm just trying to study it, trying to figure out how I can best do this myself. But yeah, I'm gonna keep adding these shapes in. So Killua's got a lot of hair. So, but one thing I've always noticed is that all the hair strands usually come back to that origin point of the hair, and that's been super helpful. So I'm just gonna keep drawing. Probably time-lapse this part. Just coming out the origin point. Like this. And it's super fun too once you start understanding it yourself, because one it's different from understanding it and then just drawing it from imagination. When you draw from imagination, it's hard to redraw what you did before, but when you understand how to draw something, it's way easier to go back and touch on it or do it again. And I'm starting to like how this is coming out so far. It's definitely rough, but I'm definitely starting to see the idea come along. And again, I'm just following that head shape, that basic shape I laid out already. And now I'm just using the reference to my advantage by drawing in these strands of hair. And it just makes it easy for me. Like, I've already got the reference, so I don't have to make anything up. I'm just drawing what I see. Drawing what I see. And it's pretty much almost done already. And there we go. That's pretty much Killua's hair. I'm gonna erase that base shape I had. And there we go. Now I have Killua's hair. So now let's move on to Boruto. All right, now I'm gonna start drawing Boruto. So I got my reference up on the TV right here, and I'm just gonna start drawing. So like I said before, I'm gonna find the origin point of the hair first. So with Boruto, his is kind of like right here, somewhere right there, and he has some pretty simple shapes, right, for the hair. He's got this little triangle thing. Then, actually, hold on. Let's move it up a little bit more, and then start drawing these simple shapes. So with Boruto's hair, what's cool about his hair is it's a lot more simpler, and you can really break it down into these simple shapes. So get a cool look to it. So there's like this half circle type of thing going on. And like I said before, these shapes are always coming from the origin point, because that's where the hair is growing from, where it's originating from. So I'm just gonna look at my reference and draw these shapes in. I just want to get the basic shapes in first, and then I can start going in and adding the detail and stuff. And right now, I don't really care about the character's face. I don't really care about his face right now. I'm just trying to practice drawing hair, so I could definitely draw Boruto's face a little bit better, his head and face a little bit better, but I'm not too worried about it right now. I'm just trying to focus on the hair. So he's got something like that going on, right? And then it comes back in, something like this. And there we go. And like, just depending on the style of hair that you are going for, you're gonna either have like this really kind of detailed look to the hair, or more simplified look, like they do in Boruto. So, and that's what I'm trying to implement in my characters as well. I want more of like a simplified look, like that of the Boruto anime and stuff like that. But so now I've got this basic shape for the hair. It was pretty easy to put in because I'm just looking at the reference, right? And so this was my origin point, and this is where the hair is coming from. So I just drew in those basic shapes. And now what I'm going to do is, off of that, draw the details of the hair. So he's got these spikes coming out like this. He's got like spiky hair. That's also something really important is the what did I call it? The most prominent shapes, right? So the most prominent shape on Boruto here is this one right here. This. So this basic shape, you usually always know that that's Boruto, just based off that shape, right? And then after you've drawn that basic shape in, you go in and add the details, and then the character starts becoming their own. That's what I've really noticed and learned throughout studying hair and stuff. I showed you earlier in the video how I, not really how I studied, but some studies I created and drew. And now I'm just applying what I've learned through research and just studying myself to drawing hair for my own characters and stuff, but also for just studying characters I like to draw, whether that be Boruto or Killua. So yeah. So when I draw hair, this is what I think I've broken it down into 2 steps basically. So the first step is to find the basic shape. So the basic shape of Killua's hair was this, right? It was this kind of circular outline over on top of the head, right? And so that was the basic shape for Killua's head. And then once I found that basic shape, and I also found my origin point, well, I guess that would be first. So 3 steps: find your origin point here. That's your origin point of the hair. And then find your basic shape. So this circular thing, just circle around the head, and that plots out gives you a base to work with for drawing the rest of the hair, because hair has volume, right? You're not going to draw it right on top of the skull or the head. So I drew a circular outline for the basic shape, and then after that I went in and drew all these strands of hair that come back to the origin point of the hair. And once you start practicing it, it gets a lot easier to understand and break down. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Other than that, it's just about practicing drawing hair, obviously, and just keep studying it, right? So that's pretty much it. So origin point is the first thing you want to knock down. Origin point. The second thing is the basic shape of the head or the hair. So that's number 2. And then number 3 is just adding in those details, those strands of hair that are left to draw. So, and that's pretty much how I've broken it down. And what's cool is, like, for any of your characters that you want to draw to make them more iconic in your own series or own character designs, you give them like stuff like this, right? You make them stand out by giving them more prominent shapes in their hair. So Boruto, he has these this basic shape, right? That's made up of 3 different shapes. 1, 2, 3. So this one, this one, and this one, and then also the 6 strands of hair plus this one in the back. So that's 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6, and this would be 7, 8, 9, 10. And in the reference I'm looking at, you always see that these strands of hair, no matter where, or no matter which way he's facing, right? And that's just what makes your character design even better, especially for your hair and stuff. But yeah, origin point, find your origin point, your basic shape, and then just add your details and strands for your hair. And there you go. You just got to practice it and study drawing hair, and eventually you'll just see yourself improving like I have. It's been really fun figuring out how to draw hair, and I'm still trying to learn it, so I'm going to keep studying it, keep trying to break it down for myself. But this is basically how I draw hair and how I've broken it down. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'll see you in the next video. Peace.